said that people were literally being bombed in the streets. The moment that they launched this product in 2010, guess what happened? Welcome to Soul Media, where we discuss e-commerce marketing and motivational tips to help your beauty business grow, or your e-commerce business. So in today's video, we're actually doing a little story time motivation for you. And this isn't just your average rags to riches motivation story. Today we're talking about Mimi Econ, or Ikonn. Now, a lot of you guys may not know who she is, but let me give you a bit of backstory. But before I do that, I want to mention that this is a pretty short story, so you don't want to click away, all right? And you want to actually finish this until the very end, because I truly believe that this story, because it has inspired me so much, I really truly believe that you will walk away with tangible inspiration that you can hold on to and think about from time to time, as I do. Okay, so don't click off this video yet. Don't try to leave yet. It's not time, okay? I'll tell you when. How I came across Mimi? Well, she actually has a YouTube channel that I started following, and I don't know exactly when I got into her videos, but I do know that I've been following her for a very long time. I'd say from like 2013 or something. Really long. Let's get into the story, okay? Mimi was born in Baku, Azerbaijan, which is actually a really small country that at the time when she was living there, they were going through a lot of war. And I remember watching a video of hers where she said that people were literally being bombed in the streets.
We struggled financially. Anytime I say this on the podcast, my dad is like, we were middle class in Azerbaijan. Yes, absolutely. But middle class in Azerbaijan is different from middle class in America, right? Like my parents, we had one bedroom, tiny apartment, and my parents gave their bedroom to my sister and I, so we can have a bedroom. So we come out of the tube station. I'm at the time five and a half, probably 6 years old. And I see like helicopters flying, like grenades exploding. And me and my sister look at each other, we're like, whoa, this is cool. And meanwhile, my mom was probably like, holy, how are we gonna walk home? And we had a 15-minute walk to go to my grandma's house. And then we're walking. She took us through the small streets. This is probably one of my earliest childhood memories. And literally, these soldiers were just shooting innocent people on the streets.
And they were on drugs? They were just like hopped up on speed or something?
Now, because of, it's been a big thing, it was like a genocide, right? So genocide, they talk about the fact that because how do you just shoot innocent people on the street? So a lot of them were given drugs so they can just do this kind of crazy stuff, right? Which is obviously heartbreaking too. And so we're walking on the small street, and I remember turning to the right and seeing there's a soldier with like a, what are they called? AK-47s probably. He's standing at the end of the street, and we're crossing the street, and we're like almost at my grandmother's house, and he looks at us, and then he turns the other way.
Wow. So you could have been dead.
Yeah, like literally. But I get more emotional now because I can imagine how my mom felt with two girls, and like, any one of us could have been shot. So
her family moved to Toronto, Canada, and they all actually shared a one-bedroom apartment all together. It's her mom, her dad, and her sister. After high school, she got a job at a bank, okay? And I don't know which bank this is, but it's probably like TD or Scotiabank or whichever one of those banks that are here in Canada. She started working at a bank, and this is where she met her partner, or her husband, who's also her business partner, Alex Econ. Alex and her were not together yet when they started working there, but when, I guess over time they started dating, whatever, and then they both actually got fired at the same time from this bank position. At this point, they are together, and they're both out of a job together. And so what they did was they would wake up every morning and do something called a gratefulness walk. Now, all of this is actually from memory because I love her story so much, so I don't even need to read anything literally off the dome. They would do a gratefulness walk every morning, and her dad thought that she was insane for doing this because they're both not working, they're both out of a job, they're getting married at some point in the future, and now they're doing these gratefulness walk.
And as you may know already, Alex got fired from the bank for having a side business. He had a side business which was like selling cars from US to Russia, and he was doing it during his work hours. Okay. And then the corporate security was checking all the emails. And one day they just came in and said, you know, you gotta go. Okay. You can't do this. And but it taught him a great lesson, because Alex before wanted to be an investment banker, so he really wanted to grow in that ladder in the bank. And when he got out of the system, he said, you know what, I just want to do my own thing now. At the same time, I decided that, okay, this is the right time for me to also leave the bank and really just follow my heart and see where I want to go. What about what I want to do in life that I'm actually passionate about.
Alex says that like back then you two would go on these gratitude walks, and you would, tell me if I'm wrong, but he said you would walk around and just be grateful for all these wonderful things you had when you were probably still broke as a joke, I don't know. And he said one time his dad called him or something.
My dad,
your dad called you, what are you doing? And your dad, we're having you in our gratitude walk.
Yeah, we're in a gratefulness walk, and he's like, what gratefulness walk? You guys need to get a job. What are you doing? And now my dad can see that it works. It's one of the most powerful exercises you can do.
They're doing these gratefulness walk and also preparing for their wedding. While they were looking for hair extensions for her wedding, she just kept noticing that the hair extension quality was just not up to par. It was not good. She really wanted to find a product that was better suited for what she wanted and was higher quality as well. This is where they had the genius idea to create Luxy Hair extensions. Mimi and her sister Layla started their YouTube channel, Luxy Hair. So this is where they would do like hair tutorials and hairstyles. There's about 10 or 12 before they launched, which was on July 20th, 2010. July 20th, 2010. So over 12 years ago. Before her wedding, they purchased about $20,000 worth of inventory for their hair extension. So they've got a wedding to do, and they also are buying inventory for this hair extension brand that they're not entirely sure is going to take off, but they are sort of, as you may say, like just going with the flow, trusting that this will work. And so that was actually their last 20K. Both of them, Alex and Mimi, put together this amount from their lines of credit, their debit cards, all that, anything that they had at the time. They all pitched in, as well as Layla, to purchase all of these hair extensions and brand it with their branding. And the moment that they launched this product in 2010, guess what happened? So I'm sure you know what happened. They literally made $1 million in the first year of starting that hair extension brand, all of them together. I know I'm talking about Mimi a lot, but that's because I love her and I love her. But I do, like, Alex is her partner. They're together, they're in this together, okay? So if I say Mimi, just know that I mean Alex and Mimi, and a little bit of Layla, which is her sister, but just talking about Mimi for now. And so Mimi and others made $1 million in their first year, and that changed everything for them. And they were able to, actually when they launched, not only did they have only like 10 to 12 videos, but they literally had like maybe 2,000 to 5,000 subscribers at the time of launching. And now, after making $1 million in the first year, garnering over $10 million total, having an office in Toronto, an office in London, today they've actually sold the business, and Luxy Hair, the YouTube channel, has over 3 million subscribers. I'm looking like right into the light and now I can't see. So shouldn't have looked right in the light, should have looked right at the camera. But yeah, so they have over 3.13 million subscribers and over 600 videos. And they actually sold the company about 2 years ago. They considered themselves nomads, so digital nomads at the time of starting their brand. So they would do a lot of like filming videos, and this is like in the process of them growing Luxy Hair. Before selling it, they would create videos on their separate channels about motivating or inspiring content, but more so travel. So they would travel to different places and do hair extension tutorials while they're traveling. And eventually they hired out other women to do some tutorials on their channel, okay? So That's how they handle the channel. Around this time, around like 2013, 2014, when I discovered them, I was working for a taxi company here in Toronto. I almost said the name. And literally every single time before going into work, I would watch a Mimi video. Because she truly, truly inspired me to start my hair, like my synthetic hair brand, which is where this hair is from. But this is just one of many different styles. I just felt like wearing this style today. But they truly inspired me to start my very own hair extension brand as well and utilize YouTube as my main platform. If you're an entrepreneur and you have your own product, I truly believe that YouTube is the best platform to start with, even back then and even till this day, like today. There was a study that was taking place not too long ago, and they surveyed the new generation, like Gen Z, and they wanted to know which platform they were using more of. And wouldn't you know that YouTube is still utilized by the newer generation and the older. At I believe 93% or 95% of Gen Z, millennials, they still utilize YouTube instead of like Instagram, Facebook, which are actually declining. TikTok is like new, so it's definitely still up there. But amongst the social media platforms that have literally stood the test of time, it's YouTube. If you've been considering, you know, I don't know, like what to do when I start my YouTube channel, if I'm gonna be like selling a product, like what kind of videos am I gonna do? I would say take a note or just take a look at Luxy Hair's YouTube channel, even if you're not selling hair extensions, and just see, like, give yourself some time to go through and see which videos of theirs are doing the best and see how you can implement that in your YouTube strategy. Truly, it really depends. Like if you have a makeup brand, you don't have to just sell, you can just give your tips and your tricks, and people really will gravitate towards that. So don't underestimate the power of YouTube when you are trying to grow your brand. I do want to state though that if you're not on YouTube a lot and you don't really like care, if you don't look up videos on YouTube at all and you're maybe always on Instagram or TikTok, then definitely stick to those platforms and utilize the best strategies to grow on there. But that was just a little bit of a marketing subsection, because I truly believe that the fact that they utilized YouTube and grew an audience, a small audience, but still an audience first, and still they were able to like grow such a massive brand whilst they had their product. Genius. Okay, absolutely genius. Today, Alex and Mimi, they don't own Luxy Hair anymore, but they do have a company called Intelligent Change, which I'm sure you've heard of, the 5-minute journal and the productivity planner. So those are both like two products that are made from Alex and Mimi Econ, and they have been extremely popular on YouTube. And the surprising thing about that product is that like Alex actually grew funding from a Kickstarter campaign, which was really interesting to watch. Or I remember watching a video and they like raised like, I can't remember how much it was, but it was enough for them to create those journals. So they didn't even necessarily use their money to start. They used other people's money and grew the brand from there. Intelligent Change is a great business. I'm obsessed with it. Mimi has actually a hair product line called Love Hair now, and it's a coconut oil based hairline. It's a really great product as well. And another thing, they both also have a podcast, so it's called the Icons, and they pretty much just talk to really inspiring people and sort of pick their brain and just have a conversation about business or mindset, stuff like that. And although Mimi isn't on YouTube anymore, which is such a bummer, I can't also find their podcast on YouTube. It's only on Spotify and other podcast platforms. But truly, when she was on YouTube, it was a very iconic moment. I guess after she had her child, they just sort of stopped posting videos, and I really truly miss their presence on the YouTube platform. I think like she's such a positive, uplifting, so amazing. Actually, I'm so in love with her, and it's just a shame that, you know, there were like a lot of negative comments, I remember at one point, and it was just a whole hot mess. But I'm happy to say that, you know, they seem to be, at least from what I'm hearing from the podcast, they've been loving life, they've been enjoying it, and still living that sort of laptop lifestyle. Before I let you guys go, also in terms of their system, there's a really great book that I will bring up on this channel at some point because it is such a good book. It's called The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. This book pretty much outlines exactly what an online entrepreneur should do to be able to work only 4 hours a day, 4 hours a week in their business.
4-Hour Work Week kind of came about, that time was really popular. It still is. And that book for me, what was the most insightful thing is this idea of lifestyle design. I never thought that there was anything else but university, job, retirement, and work up the ladder, buy yourself a BMW, a house in the suburbs, and live your life. That's I was signed up for that. I'm like, I want the American dream. I'm from Russia.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, Tim Ferriss talking about you can travel and you don't need to earn a much. And even if you just make $40,000, you can sustain yourself and be in, as we were talking before, in Nicaragua or Colombia or these other places and live a good life,
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is cool. And most importantly, I think for a lot of people, as for me, the reason you get into entrepreneurship is because you want to be free. That's kind of how it all began for us. And those type of books just exposed us to this idea that this is possible. And then we're like, hey, let's do it. Let's go after it. Because that's what we know. And kind of, the rest was really history. Because like you said, the other element is the marketing aspect. And I would say that's really our specialty. And that's where we turn into kind of YouTube early days. But even then, early in the YouTube 2010, a lot of people already were saying, oh, it's too late. It's kind of like TikTok now, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's too late. There's already big stars on there. But the reality is it's never too late. Even to this day now, YouTube, I still believe in YouTube. I still believe you can go in there and build yourself a really good brand and following.
Mimi has taken a lot from that book, Mimi and Alex, and they've implemented that as well when growing Luxy Hair. So I will talk about the 4-Hour Work Week. Can't say that 10 times fast. 4-Hour Work Week, 4-Hour Work Week, 4-Hour Work Week, 4-Hour Work Week. That was not fast at all. But I'm standing up because this is a serious video and I've been actually dying to talk about this in a very casual format with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this sort of format. But if you prefer maybe live videos off the cuff, that's also cool too. Let me know. I'm trying to figure out the best content strategy for myself as well. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Keep an eye out for the next video. It's gonna talk about how to overcome adversity and prosper through those adversities. So definitely check out the next video. Also check out my previous video that'll be linked here about how I'm able to pay all my bills with e-commerce and selling hair products online. And I am starting a mastermind and I'm literally trying to garner up anyone that is interested. I thought I wanted to have a limit, but there will be a limit per group, but there is still the wait list that I will leave open. So the first 10 people to sign up will be starting our group very, very soon. So we'll be meeting up weekly. So definitely check the link down below and consider joining the mastermind if you have an e-commerce brand. But yes, I hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing day. Good luck on your journey. I'm here with you and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.